Jesus Christ. Here we come to 1 Corinthians 7, verse 36 through 38. And as Paul is talking to those that are, you could almost say engaged, basically kind of what it's looking at, Paul's then talking about the situation into which they find themselves. And it's always best when we have a blessing or a gift to use that gift, whatever that gift might be. And he's pointing out here very tightly about the gift of, at sometimes we are blessed with the gift of being single. And oftentimes in the church, we often have, well, you're married, that is better. And what's wrong with you if you're single? And yet we look through Corinthians here and it almost flips it up on its head. With those that are single, what a blessing to be able to follow the Lord and to think about that without having everything else pulling on us in our Lord, in our life. So he's talking here. Now, verse 36. If anyone thinks that he is not behaving properly towards his betrothed, so you're betrothed, you have these things going forward, and you're not speaking now, the not being proper. What that probably is talking about is delaying what's going forward, whether it's delaying for economic reasons, whether it's delaying for Christ is going to return very soon, especially at that point when you're talking to the Corinthians. There was a number of people that were then delaying that. And so what would be acting improper? Acting improper would be putting it off and putting it off and putting it off with the possibility of giving the devil the room to come in and tempt to sin. So that's what we're looking at here. Now, with some, I'll just continue. If his passions are strong, and it has to be, let him do as he wishes. Let them marry. It is no sin. Now, you notice he's having to be very adamant here. If you choose to marry, it is not a sin. We would today say kind of, duh, right? Yes, that is the case. Being married is a blessing. It's a gift. Being single is a blessing. It is a gift. And as Paul has been going and really emphasizing for a couple of chapters here, the underlying theme throughout all of this is wherever the Lord puts you, he will bless. Wherever the Lord puts you, how can I serve the Lord where he has put and placed me? Wherever that may be. And in this case, married or unmarried. Now, certain gifts have certain things, other gifts have others. And here he's talking about the blessing of those that are single in the Lord. But just because this is a blessing and a gift does not mean, on the other hand, well, then the other has to be a sin. No. But the church today should also be very cautious to look very often that also being married, is that a sin? No. Being single, is that a sin? No. And so we've almost kind of flipped it from what some of the issues that were going on here. And if a person chooses and has that blessed gift of being single, praise be to the Lord. Verse 37. But whoever is firmly established in his heart, being under no necessity, but having his desire under control, and is determined that in his heart to keep her as his betrothed, he will do well. So, and how would that be the case? By having this gift of being single. That's where Paul's talking. If you have this gift of being single and then serving the Lord where you're at, serving the Lord in his church, and being able to think, firstly, Lord, what do you want today in my life? Praise be the Lord for that gift. But just because you don't have a gift does not mean that you're sinful or wrong or bad either. It's not a sin to be married either. But if you have the gift, use whatever that gift and blessing is where God puts and places you. Last verse for today, 38. So then, he who marries his betrothed does well, and he who refrains from marriage will do even better. And Paul's point is looking at, will Christ return? Yes. And how can we serve the Lord the best? Can we serve him in marriage? Absolutely. Can we serve him being single? Absolutely. And he's saying, and in fact, oftentimes it is even a better way to be able to serve for those that are single without having other responsibilities placed upon you. Wherever God puts and places you, praise be to the Lord, and let us sit there and live where he places us in his holy name.